Imagine standing inside an electronics store. Two smartphones sit side by side. One costs half the price. The other has a line of people waiting to buy it. On paper, both can send messages, take photos, browse the internet, even run many of the same apps. Yet millions willingly pay significantly more for one simple logo. Why? Is Apple really making dramatically better products? Or has the company mastered something much more powerful than technology? Psychology. Because Apple doesn't simply manufacture devices, carefully shapes how people think, how people feel, and ultimately, how people see themselves. Today, we're exploring the hidden psychology behind one of the world's most loyal customer bases, not to praise Apple or criticize it, but to understand why so many people keep coming back. Again and again. Imagine buying your very first iPhone. The purchase feels exciting, but something interesting happens afterward. You don't just own the phone, you begin identifying with it. Psychologists call this social identity theory. Humans naturally build part of their identity around the groups they belong to: sports teams, universities, professions, even brands. Owning an Apple product quietly signals something: creativity, innovation, simplicity, modernity. Whether those assumptions are true isn't the important part. What matters is that people believe they communicate something about themselves. The logo becomes more than a logo. It becomes a symbol, and symbols often influence behavior more than products ever could. Apple rarely sells specifications, sells identity. People don't simply buy an iPhone. They buy the feeling of becoming the kind of person who owns one. Now imagine you've had a wonderful experience with your MacBook. It's fast, reliable, beautifully designed. Your brain naturally assumes something. If Apple made one great product, the others must be great too. Psychologists call this the halo effect, when one positive experience influences how we judge everything else. Suddenly, the Apple Watch feels more trustworthy. The iPad seems more premium. AirPods appear more desirable. Even before you've used them, Apple understands this remarkably well. Every product strengthens every other product. They're not individual devices. They're one carefully connected experience, and that makes leaving much more difficult. Imagine switching from Apple tomorrow. Your photos, your messages, your notes, your passwords, your smartwatch, your laptop, your tablet, everything works together, almost effortlessly. Now imagine replacing just one device. Suddenly, small inconveniences begin appearing everywhere. None of them feel major, but together they create friction. Behavioral economists call this switching costs. The harder it becomes to leave, the more valuable staying feels. Apple doesn't trap customers with contracts. It builds an ecosystem so convenient that leaving starts feeling like losing. Convenience becomes loyalty, without anyone forcing it. Researchers have repeatedly discovered something fascinating. When people expect something to be better, they often experience it as better, even when objective differences are surprisingly small. Apple invests heavily in creating expectations: minimalist stores, elegant packaging, simple presentations, beautiful product photography, premium materials. Every detail quietly tells your brain one message: this is exceptional. Before the product is even turned on, expectation shapes perception, and perception shapes satisfaction. Sometimes, the experience begins long before the first touch. The fascinating thing about Apple is that its greatest product may not be the iPhone, or the Mac, or the Apple Watch. Its greatest product is trust. Years of consistent design, predictable experiences, clear messaging, and psychological understanding have created something competitors still struggle to replicate. Because loyalty isn't built by features alone. It's built by identity, emotion, consistency, and the stories people tell themselves every time they choose one brand over another. The question isn't whether Apple influences its customers. Clearly does. The real question is, how many other brands are quietly shaping your decisions? without you ever noticing. If you enjoyed exploring the psychology behind business, branding, and human decision-making, subscribe to Great Minds Explained for weekly deep dives into the hidden science that shapes how we think, choose, and succeed.